Hey everyone, welcome to Pink Tutu Tarot. So today's reading, we are looking at what Spirit thinks is really special about you, what they want you to know about yourself that they see and that they really appreciate. So I've got 3 groups for you, 3 cards. Pick the card that resonates or the group that resonates with you, and it'll take you to your reading. So group 1, your card is Staff. Staff. Group 2, your card is Grapes. And group 3, your card is Fish. So whatever resonates with you, go ahead and pick the card that's calling to you. Just go down to the description box, click on the timestamp, and it will take you straight to your reading. And I will see you there. Thanks, y'all. Hey, group 1. All right, we are going to take a look at what Spirit thinks is like your most special quality, or what they think is most special about you. So we'll start with your initial card. And your card it says Staff and then Magician. All right, let me see if I can get any messages from here, from Spirit, to kind of get us started. Spirit is saying that you perceive life through different eyes. They're saying that you perceive life through the eyes of hope, not despair. Even when you're surrounded by despair, even when things are hard, when things are challenging, you always have hope. They think that's beautiful. They think that's really something special. But we're gonna get a little bit more detail. Let's see what else Spirit has to say about what they think is like so special about you. And I mean that in a good way. We have the 5 of Swords, 3 of Cups in reverse, Queen of Wands, and the 9 of Cups. Okay, and I've got another deck. I'm going to go ahead and pull the second row of cards here so we can get them all on the table and talk about everything that's here. And then I do have one final card for you at the end. Okay. All right, we have Knight of Wands, 5 of Swords again, 2 of Wands, and 5 of Cups. All right, just want to make sure y'all can see all these. All right, give me just a second. I want to take all these cards in and listen for some initial messages from Spirit, and then we'll talk about what's going on here. So give me just a second, y'all. Spirit's saying that you don't let petty squabbles get in the way of your true self. They're saying that you, of course, you do compete with others, like we all do on some level. but you stay true to yourself and to your honor regardless. Like, you want to be better. You know, there's part of you that, of course, wants to be in some way better than someone else. You want to achieve. I think it's the nature of being human, is to see, you know, and this is not a judgment, good or bad, but it's like we see what other people do and it sort of pushes us to do more, you know, so in that way, competitive spirit is not a bad thing. But Spirit's saying when you do it, you keep your heart in it. Okay, they're saying that makes you special as well. All right, well, let's talk about the cards, and we'll get into some detail here about what Spirit thinks is so special about you. So for starters, we have 5 of Swords and the Knight of Wands. Spirit's saying no matter what is going on with you, good times, bad times, challenging times, joyful, easy times. Again, they're saying you keep this spirit of hope in you. You never let the fire die out. Like, sometimes they're saying it gets close, right? Like your torch sometimes will get down to the like barest of embers, and you know, there may be times when maybe you get very depressed, and you get very low, and you don't feel like you can go on, like that low kind of feeling. But they're saying, but you always pull yourself up. You make yourself, they're saying you make yourself happen. What does that mean? Yeah, they're just saying you make yourself happen. You create, you lift yourself up and provide your own spark when you need it. Interesting. Yet they're saying you don't let, you know, when you look at this particular 5 of Swords, there's this person in the background who looks to me like they've had their heart ripped out and sort of the hole has been stitched over and they're cracked and broken. Spirit's saying you don't let your wounds take over, control you. You have your good days and bad days, but in general, you rise above. You rise above your own difficulties, even when someone hurts you. Even when you're, you know, in sometimes the most devastating of situations. And they're bringing my attention to this white rose. And I'll be honest, I don't know what the symbolism is of white rose, but they're giving me the message, white rose of hope, which seems to me like it came up on another card recently. But yeah, they're saying you always carry that hope in you, and it keeps you pushing forward, keeps you driving forward. You tackle the dragons in your life as if your life depends on it sometimes. Because sometimes it does, I guess. Then we have the 3 of Cups reversed and the 5 of Swords. There's Spirit saying that, and you probably know this about yourself, that when you get down, sometimes you may lash out at others. You might get angry. You might get like testy. They're saying you're not vicious in any way. But it's like when you're feeling really sad or alone, you can sometimes get a little angry. That's what they're giving me. They're wanting you to watch out for that, because it's not the best energy for you. Try to notice it when it happens so that you can, kind of nip it. But the bigger message here is that, yes, this happens to you. But Spirit's saying you always regret it. You always regret it. And you always apologize. You don't take for granted that, like, well, I got angry, everybody gets angry. They'll understand. They're saying you don't do that. It's like you apologize, you beg for forgiveness, you feel badly when you act like a brat, they're saying. Don't shoot the messenger, y'all. That's their word. When you act like a brat. When you get crabby, when you're having a bad day, and sometimes you take it out on other people. You're not alone in that, so don't let that make you feel bad. They're acknowledging that, yes, that happens, but the beauty of you is that you don't just let it slide. You always ask for forgiveness. You always look back on your behavior when it's not the best. And feel remorse. And of course, Spirit doesn't want you to feel bad, but they're saying it is a beautiful thing that you acknowledge when you're not being your best self, when you haven't been your best self. They really think that's beautiful about you. All right, then we have the Queen of Wands and the Two of Wands. Spirit's saying no matter what you want in your life, big or small, you always manage to find hope, a level of hope. You find a way. You look for reasons, you look for signs, you look for opportunities to believe and to stay hopeful. To give something a chance. When you dream of something, when you have a goal or an idea that you just want to bring to fruition, right? It would be easy for you to say, well, that's not going to be possible. I can't do that, or I don't have enough money for that, or I don't have the resource. You could come up with a million reasons why something couldn't work. But your tendency is actually to find reasons why it might work. To kind of, look around the problems, sort of snake around the excuses, searching for anything that will give you just that little bit of hope that, yeah, I could do that. Yeah, that can happen. That's possible. Okay, let's see. Let's give it a go. And they're saying your hope is contagious. Other people feel it from you. They see it in you, even if they don't necessarily know how to pinpoint what it is. They see this optimism, this hope in you, and it gives them hope in their own lives. It's fantastic. All right, then lastly we have the Nine of Cups and the Five of Cups. Spirit saying you believe the best will happen, even in despair, even when bad things happen. You still believe. And they're giving me something else. I just want to hold on one sec because I want to make sure I get that. Yeah, they're saying when unfortunate things happen, right? With the Five of Cups, something goes wrong, something doesn't turn out the way you like. Bad things happen to everybody in life. Your sense of hope and belief sort of rises above that, and you're able to look at a situation, no matter how bad it is, and still see the beauty in it. Still find that glimmer of positivity, of hope. You always see that there's something good that can come out of even a bad situation. You're able to see the bigger lesson in something. You're able to see how, yeah, this is terrible, but it's an opportunity for this. And it's, yeah, they're saying you see the bright side, but it's more than that, because it's, right, yeah, they're saying it's much more than just optimism. They're pointing to my heart, which would be your heart. They're pointing to my heart and saying it's a spark. No matter the situation, you find a way, and maybe not immediately, right? In a bad situation, it might take a little bit, but you always pull yourself up, and that spark in your heart always seems to glow. You find a reason to believe in the best, and your hope for the future is unfailable. You just believe. You don't believe that you're here on earth to be miserable, for bad things to happen, for, it's not, life sucks, that kind of thing. They're saying you do have your moments. They're acknowledging that, where you get really, I'm not going to say the word they're giving me, but crabby, angry, upset, but who doesn't? But somehow you manage to pull yourself out of it, find a reason to smile, find a reason to look forward to tomorrow, and you just keep moving forward. And when one thing goes wrong, you start focusing on the next thing, on something else that will make you happy, that will make your life better, that gives you something to look forward to. And they're wanting me to look again at this staff card. What is it you want me to? They're saying it's a wand. I guess much like in tarot, the wands are fire. Oh, and they're showing me, I don't know if you guys can see this, at the bottom there's these two tiny little footprints. And that's you continuing to move forward and leaving a footprint behind for other people to follow. You inspire other people with your hope, with your belief. I love that. Okay, anything else you want to say about that, Spirit, before we go to the last card? Okay, all right, so one last card. This is, they're called Angel Healing cards. Oh, this is nice. Your card is Inspiration. A new idea comes to you like a gentle whisper inside your heart. Listen and take action. This is inspiration from high above. And I'm just getting chills right now. They're saying you are easy to inspire, because it doesn't take a lot to convince you to believe. So we inspire you. We help you get inspired, and you take it from there, and you go. And as you go, you leave a trail of inspiration in your wake for other people to latch onto. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. So that is what Spirit thinks is particularly special about you. So I don't know. hopefully you got some, like a little revelation out of that, some new information, new insight. I hope it helped. I hope you recognize yourself in that, because Spirit really wanted you to know that. And thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate your watching, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, y'all. Bye-bye. Hey, group 2. All right, we are going to take a look at what Spirit thinks is really special about you. What makes you special? What is something they really appreciate about you? So your card is grapes. Let's see if Spirit can give me any information about this for you. They're saying multifaceted interests. They're saying you are a wealth of ideas. And because of that, you also surround yourself with a wealth of opportunities. You make it easy for Spirit to bring you opportunities, because there's so many things you're interested in. So many things you find fascinating. So much you're curious about. Interesting. And I guess that's represented with all the grapes hanging on the vine. But they may have more to say about that after. We'll see. But let's get some tarot cards on the table. We'll get more information about what Spirit thinks is really special about you. What is so special about you? We have the 8 of Pentacles, 7 of Wands reversed, Strength reversed, and the 4 of Wands. Okay, I've got a second deck here. We're going to pull another row of cards. Get the full picture of it all here for you. All right, we have Queen of Pentacles, the Lovers, 10 of Pentacles, and 7 of Wands. Interesting, we have two sevens, 7 of Wands, 7s of Wands. One is upright, one is in reverse, so that's interesting. All right, give me just a second. I want to take all these cards in and get some initial messages from Spirit for you, and then we're going to talk about what's going on here and let Spirit tell you what they think is so special about you. Okay, so give me just a sec. Spirit's saying that you just love life and you're fascinated by so many aspects of life. There are so many things that you find interesting, and that in turn makes you an interesting person for others to be around and for them to witness, to watch, and to participate in, your life with you. They say they live vicariously through you sometimes, because you're fun and you're fascinating. You're fascinated. You get joy out of learning new things and trying new things and meeting new people and going to new places. Interesting. Spirit's saying you never know what you're going to get, but it never stops you. Okay. I love it. I love it. That's great. Okay, so let's look at the cards. We have the Eight of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles. Spirit's saying you do have a little bit of a creative flair. Even if it may be your job, it may not be. But they're saying it could be. That's one of the beautiful things about you, is that you could turn anything into money, into a job, into a career, if you wanted to. Because you take so much joy in it. They're saying this, creative side of you could come in any number of formats, and maybe for you it comes in many, right? But it doesn't necessarily have to. But it could be, maybe you paint, maybe you write music, maybe you sing, maybe you write stories or books or blogs, maybe you do videos. Yeah, they're saying we could go on and on. They're saying your creative flair is fueled by your curiosity to learn more about life and the world, and to express yourself within it. And when you apply yourself, like when it's something you really enjoy, you can actually make money from it. I don't know if you are now, but either you have in the past or you are now, or they're just saying that you can if you wanted to. They're saying if you stuck to one thing long enough, you could. That's on you. That's up to you. They're saying you don't always want to stick to one thing. And that may be something. Let me just see what they're saying about that. They're saying that can be a challenge for you. Because yes, you are so interested and curious and you want to learn new things, that you tend to not stick to one thing for too long enough for it to really blossom and become something. But when you harness that energy and you focus, there's no stopping you. You absolutely could make a living at almost anything that you try. Anything that you love. And there's so much, they're saying. I love that. Okay, so then we have the Seven of Wands reversed and the Lovers. Say that again. Spirit's saying you do believe in yourself. And you do commit yourself to whatever you're working on. So it's not that you don't commit yourself or that you're not committed to what you're doing. It's more like they're saying you do it for a while and you're so committed and you're so you're all in. And just when you reach the top of the mountain, you change directions and you do something else. They're saying it's not a bad thing. It's fascinating to watch how you can just switch gears and turn your attention onto something else and build a new passion from nothing, from a spark. But if or when you find something that you really love and you decide to stick with it, you could make a lot of money at it. So just be aware of that tendency is like when you get to the top of the mountain, to that point where you're right there, you could be really successful, and then you change your mind. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're wondering, if you've noticed that you don't tend to have like the highest level of success, you may want to consider that. Like continuing down one road just a little bit longer. Not to say you can't have other interests, but they're saying you're going to do great regardless, so don't worry. Okay. We have Strength reversed and the Ten of Pentacles. Spirit is saying sometimes you have doubts. When it really comes down to money. They're giving me that you doubt your ability to make a lot of money because you feel like you've tried so many things and you haven't gotten there. What they're really saying is that you haven't found that one passion that is going to like skyrocket you to the top. But your ability to your fascination with so many different things and your ability to embrace different things and try them and see if you like them and give it a go and learn how to do it, they're saying is absolutely fantastic. It makes your life so full. It makes you so interesting. And they're saying we love bringing opportunities your way because we know you're gonna try it. You're gonna latch on and give it a try. You're not someone who you're faced with something, something new, and talk yourself out of it. Like you're a yes person. You're like, all right, I'll try it. Let's see how I do with that. Let's see if I like that. I love that feeling. Interesting. Love it. Love it. Okay. Then we have the Four of Wands and the Seven of Wands upright, where we had it reversed there. Okay, Spirit is saying you are going to find some stability and some success when you're ready, when you find the perfect thing. They're saying you'll be dancing on the rooftops and the birds will be singing your name. Oh, you're being very poetic today. It's lovely. And you'll fight to stay there. Like once you find that, like the passion of your life, you will do whatever it takes to succeed. So don't let any doubts you have about your ability to make a lot of money and be successful and abundant, don't let those doubts get in your way. They're saying you just haven't found it yet. You'll know. You'll know. But in the meantime, keep doing what you're doing because the variety and the curiosity and the ability to jump in and try things is so incredibly special and unique. And they're pointing to this card again with the grapes. And they're giving me the imagery of wine. You know, there's so many different varieties of grapes, just like there's so many varieties of wine. And you are not opposed to trying them all. Maybe literally, maybe you're a wine drinker. But, or maybe making wine is one of your passions. But that's just incidental. What they're trying to point out is that there are so many opportunities in your life, so many varieties, so many grapes to pluck. And we love that you don't shy away from any of them. You give them all a chance to become a beautiful bottle of wine. I love that. That's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Okay. Anything else, Spirit, before we get to the last card? They need to be what? They're saying you need to be experienced in enough different things in order to succeed in the one big thing that is coming for you. So all of this that you're doing, all of this trying and practicing and learning and doing is not only fascinating to them, they love it, but all of that is also somehow accumulating. All of that experience is accumulating, and at some point in the future, you're going to see that all of that leads to something where all of it matters in some way, or most of it matters in some way. Interesting. Okay, final card. All right, your card is surrender. There's no point in pushing the barrel up such a steep hill. Go back to the start. Surrender your expectations. There is an easier way. When the time is right, a new path will appear. And what they're giving me here is, again, don't beat yourself up when you try something and it doesn't, like you don't have huge success with something. It's okay. Like they're acknowledging that, yes, you switch gears. Like you try something and you switch gears. They're saying that's part of the process. It's okay. Again, it says there's no point in pushing the barrel up such a steep hill. When you no longer enjoy it, don't feel like you have to stick with it, because that's not who you are. And that's not why you're so special. You're so special because you try everything. So they're saying, go back to the start. It's okay. Keep trying, keep doing, keep learning, keep giving things a chance. And when the time is right, a new path will appear, the perfect path. And this will all lead to something. But they just think you're incredibly special for what you're willing to do and willing to try, and your ideas and your wanting to learn. They think it's incredible. So, wow, good for you. I love that. Well, group 2, I hope that helps. I hope it gave you a little bit of insight into what Spirit sees in you and what they think is so special. And I hope you realize how special that is, because I sure do. All right, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate your watching, and I will see you next time. Thanks, y'all. Bye-bye. Hey, group 3. All right, we are going to take a look at what Spirit thinks is so special about you, something they think you need to know, that they really think is incredible about you. So your card is Fish. And let me see if I can get anything from Spirit to kind of give us an indication of what this means. Give me a second. They're saying that there's this beauty about you. No, beauty's not the right word. What is beautiful about you, special about you, is your ability to go with the flow, to not fight the current. It's like you can sense when something is not right, and you don't force it. You step back, you change directions, and you're very good about allowing Spirit to lead you where you need to go. Okay, that's beautiful. I love that. All right, so that's a good start, but let's get some tarot cards on the table and we're going to get into detail. On what Spirit thinks is really special about you, what they really appreciate about you. All right, we have Hanged Man in reverse, Seven of Swords reversed, Ace of Swords reversed, and the Devil reversed. Interesting. Okay, and I've got another deck. We're going to do another row of cards here. All right, we have the Sun, Queen of Cups, Queen of Pentacles, and the Six of Swords. Okay, all right, give me just a second. I want to take all these cards in, listen for some initial messages from Spirit to kind of get us going, and then we'll talk about what's going on here and see what Spirit thinks is really, really special about you. So hold on one sec. They're saying your ability to just pick up and change directions when you get that sense that you should is incredible. It's remarkable and it's rare. They're saying most people tend to fight change. And it doesn't mean that change doesn't scare you. You just have this ability to recognize when you're being pointed in a new direction and you go. It's almost like you're doing what you're told, but it's a sense, it's not, it's your intuition. It's your spirit guides talking to you, of course, and helping you, but you sense it and you don't fight it. And really that's the big thing. You don't insist on things going your way when Spirit is trying to point you in down a different path. You go with it. They're saying if you knew how rare that was, how special that this is, this thing that you do, you would be blown away. We see it, they say. we see how it goes with most people. It's human nature to fight change, to want things to go a certain way, to want to do things our way, and to have life go where we want it to go. It's very, very rare for someone to just be able to let go and accept that things have changed and to just go with something new when you're being directed to. They're really impressed by that. They really love that about you. I love it too. That's great. Okay, so let's talk about the cards. We have the Hanged Man in reverse with the Sun. Spirit's saying that you aren't passive. Meaning you don't just allow life to just happen to you and you just let life, do its thing. That's not what they're saying at all. You are an active participant in your life, as you should be. You make things happen. You engage with life. You make decisions. You work for things. But you acknowledge and you know what makes you happy and what sort of you find things that you find troubling. When you're headed down a path and you're like, something doesn't feel right. Like you listen. I think all of us have that. We just don't all listen. And so you follow that inner guidance toward the sunlight. And they're talking about how sunflowers will turn toward the sun, to face the sun. As the sun moves, the sunflower moves to face the sun. And they're saying that's what you do. Wherever the sun is, the sun being like happiness, right? Your joy, where you are meant to, like the energy you are meant to follow, you just do it, you go. And it's not that you're passive. They're saying again, you're an active participant in your life, which is really important. But you're really good at turning toward the sun when you need to, when we ask you to. Okay. All right. So then we have the Seven of Swords in reverse and the Queen of Cups. They're saying you're also not afraid to go backwards. It's not that you are always heading down a different direction. Sometimes you'll go one way and Spirit's saying, and we'll send you back. And you could balk at that. You could, get upset by that, but you don't. Like when Spirit sends you backward, what do you mean by sending them backward? They're saying when they send you back to square one. They're saying when you're doing something and you're learning or you're moving forward on something in any area of your life, and Spirit thinks that that you're getting ahead of yourself in some way, they will sometimes send you backwards to build that foundation a little bit more solidly, to get all the information you need, to get all the experience you need. Sometimes they will not send you in a new direction. They're sending you backward to go forward again down that same path. And it can be a very emotional experience when that happens, even for you. And Spirit's saying you probably know that. But when it happens, you acknowledge it. You pick yourself up. You like dust yourself off. And you do what you have to do. And you just keep moving forward. You don't let it destroy you. They're saying you do get upset when it happens, as anyone would, I think. But what they're saying is what most people, what happens with most people when they get sent back to square one. And hopefully you know what I mean by that, because I'm not getting a good example to give you. I don't think this is a true example, but hopefully this sort of illustrates it, right? You're at a job, you're working hard, you're working toward a promotion, you're working toward this other position. And it's not like you get demoted, but instead of like moving forward, you're asked to start doing things that you thought you had mastered already, things that you had moved beyond already, and that would frustrate and bother anybody. But what happens with most people is when they get sent backwards like that, and this isn't necessarily just about a job, this is just an easy example, most people will give up, right? They'll say, I'm not doing that. I've already learned that. I'm not doing that again. I've moved past that. I'm better than that. I'm blah, blah, blah. Spirit's saying you take it as it comes. From their point of view, it's not meant to be punishment. There's just still more for you to learn. And so you go back and you learn those other things that you hadn't quite mastered. And then you move forward even faster. You have that ability to adjust to your circumstances and recognize that in some way that it's in your best interest, and you just don't fight it. You don't quit, you don't fight it, you don't give up. Even if you give up for a minute, right, mentally, you pull yourself back. Like they're showing me somebody pulling their pants back on, taking a deep breath, walking forward. So they're saying we appreciate that. It allows us to help you. It allows us to help you more than we could if you gave up every time we tried to teach you something that you hadn't quite mastered. Because then they got to take the long way around to teach you. I hope that makes sense. I know it sounds very vague, but it's what they're giving me. And so your experience, what resonates with you, I'm sure there's something where that makes sense. Okay, so then we have the Ace of Swords reversed and the Queen of Pentacles. Say that again. They're saying that you experience life as it comes and you don't get stuck in one way of thinking. You're very open-minded in most cases. You see, you hear things, you experience things with an open mind. I'm sorry, you gotta say that again. Yeah, they're saying you understand that there's more to life than, just like black and white, like what's right in front of you. And that's part of what helps you be so nimble, like so adjustable, so bendy. You're able to go with the flow and take life as it comes because you're not narrow-minded. You accept that there is, with this Queen of Pentacles, that there is a wealth of experience and a wealth of information and ideas and opportunities out there. And so you don't get stuck thinking that there's only one way. Spirit's saying, because there's never only one way. We help maneuver you and your life to the best way for you. And the more nimble you are and the more you're able to just go with the flow and like take on whatever they send you, the more quickly you get to where you need to go, where they want you to go, where they're trying to help you get to. They're saying this is your magic power. This is your superpower. Your ability to change directions, and go with the flow. Yeah. Interesting. Very, very unique. Okay. So then finally we have the Devil reversed and the Six of Swords. You don't get, listen, we all get attached, right? In some way, to people, places, things, jobs, opportunities, whatever. But you are able to detach from things that are not meant for you much more easily than others, which makes it easier for you to move on when it's time for you to move on. It's like you don't cling on for dear life to something that Spirit is trying to separate you from. Maybe it's a city or it's a job or it could be anything, right? Anything in your life. You allow yourself to let go and move on when Spirit really needs you to. They're saying it's really remarkable. Your ability to see new directions that are being highlighted for you. And to just be like, okay, all right, how do we make that work? That must be what I'm supposed to, that must be it. This isn't it anymore. They're saying you have got to see how special that is. So I hope you do. I really hope you do. And they're, okay. So in Lenormand cards, and probably in other ways as well, fish represent abundance. As well as what they were saying earlier about you're going with the flow and being able to change directions and not fight the current. This ability of yours is the source of your abundance, or will be the source of your abundance. It is the number one gift that you have that will keep on giving, that will allow you to receive. Interesting. Okay, anything else? All right, I got one more card for you. All right, these are angel healing cards. It says, the unknown. Do not fear the unknown. This is a time of deep exploration and transformation. Unfamiliar territory leads to new horizons. That couldn't be more appropriate for what they're saying about you. Like, I pulled this card. I pull these cards, ahead of time, but I don't look at them. So do not fear the unknown. You know, even if you do fear it sometimes, right? We all do. They're acknowledging that your ability to follow the unknown, to detach from your comfort zone, to try things and be led in new directions is going to turn out to be very prosperous for you. Unfamiliar territory leads to new horizons. Spirit saying, I'm sorry, say that again. They're saying you can't see where you're going to go. It's like the light is shining like 2 steps ahead of you and that's it. And you do it anyway. You go anyway. You don't wait until you can see the whole picture. You trust Spirit to lead you. And it's very, very special. So I hope you appreciate that. I hope it resonated. I hope you can see that in yourself, because Spirit really wanted to point that out. So thank you, y'all, for watching. And if this resonated, I hope you'll give the video a thumbs up. And thank you so much for being here and watching. And I will see you next time. Alrighty. Thanks, y'all. Bye-bye.